Sorry about this being late. I was indisposed, but I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear about my life issues, so let's get into the review.
A very weird thing happened when I saw Cersei get caught up in her own net of bullshit. At first, I started laughing about it, and then as time went on, that laughter kind of died down, and then I thought, I don't really feel necessarily any better about the shit that she's done. I guess I just expected to feel a little bit more fulfilled about the entire thing. But it's like, it's taken a while for justice to smack Cersei in the face. So I'm just like, I guess I'm just too desensitized. But anyway, I thought it was really cool how they make the comparison between like Marjorie and Cersei, because they both end up in the same kind of situation.
I love that speech from the High Sparrow about like, this is basically what remains. Once you remove the gold, the status, the bullshit, we'll find out what type of person you are, and it's either going to be a good person or a shitty person, and if it's a shitty person, we're going to punish you. Although, from this perspective, the framing of what makes a good person and a bad person is based on religion. I think this show does a great job of framing religion as another power-based or power-related perspective. Because that's what it is, a perspective. And it could sometimes yield positive results, like what happened to Cersei, or it could yield negative results. Another thing here is that if you actually practice what you preach, it allows you to relate to more people. And that's something that the High Sparrow tells Olenna Tyrell. He's like, you are the few, we are the many. Like, there's a lot of people that are just dirt poor and suffer on a day-to-day basis. He's actually spent time with these people. He's like, you guys are so high up there, you have no idea what the fuck's going on down here. With, I think, the exception of Marjorie.
Before she got married to Joffrey, I do remember her, just going to the poor and just asking what they needed, just doing some charity work. And that's why people like her. Olenna Tyrell is such a great character. She struggles and she shines in this one episode. She struggles when she approaches the High Sparrow, and she finds out that he cannot be manipulated because he does not have a hidden motive.
But then she talks to Littlefinger, and she basically tells him, you do know our fates are intertwined. If we get funked, you are right there with us, bitch. And you can tell Littlefinger internally is going like, shit, she's got me there. And so the best course of action for them both is to try and take down Cersei as soon as possible.
Because with Cersei gone, the fact that these two killed Joffrey, it's not that big of a deal anymore. I guess it could be, but let's be honest here. Most, if not all of Westeros already knows and is under the impression that Joffrey was in fact a bastard.
This whole bastard talk brings me to Sansa. And listen, I'm kind of new to doing Game of Thrones reviews, but last week it was a total, it was like watching a cage filled with two groups of monkeys, and these monkeys were just throwing shit at each other. I don't care what side of the debate you're on. That's what it looked like online.
If you thought the discussion was about Sansa, it was not about Sansa. It was about feminism. It really was. And feminism, in and of itself, is a very controversial topic. This episode, I do have to say that Sansa looks fucking strong as hell. Like, it surprised me how strong she is in this episode. Even when, when she sees Theon and she asks him to light the candle and she's kind of crying because she has, like, bruises and shit. Even then, she actually tells him, you are Theon Greyjoy, motherfucker.
And it takes a special type of strength to know your identity, hold on to it in the midst of adversity, but to try and give somebody else their identity back when they are so broken, that's pretty cool. It doesn't work, but it's pretty cool. Did I mention that Ramsay is an absolute asshole? Yeah? Well, in case you didn't know, this episode makes it clear. In this episode, a lady gets flayed. And I don't see a lot of blogs complaining about that shit. You want to know why that is? The answer is very simple. We live in a society that is over-sexualized, and we also live in a society that fucking sucks. I'm not even joking. And then in the preview for next week's episode, Sansa tells Theon, if you've seen that preview, she says, if I could do what Ramsay did to you, I would. Whoa! The moral here is that things are fucked up. And it takes both men and women to fuck them up real good. Sansa does pick up like a little dagger or weapon or some shit. I don't know if she's going to use that to escape the tower or if she's going to use it to kill Ramsay. Hopefully both. Now, I have a question, and I don't mean it to sound like a jackass, but when is Brienne actually going to do something? At least Stannis is hyping the Winterfell invasion up. He's like, we got to keep going, dogs. We got to keep going. I know winter sucks ass. We ain't going back. We got to keep moving forward. I have to risk everything. The moment I don't risk everything, that's when we lose. Melisandre, shut the fuck up. We're not sacrificing Shireen. But then she leaves, and there's a shot of Stannis' face. I'm like, are you actually thinking about doing that shit?
Let's go to the wall. Sam gives Jon some dragon glass. You know he's going to be using that eventually, which is a good thing because we haven't seen the White Walkers at all this season, so that's cool.
Mr. Targaryen dies not before referencing his brother, Aegon Targaryen. Egg! Egg! Somebody please give this man an egg. I really like the idea of him conceptualizing innocence in terms of his brother. It's like, well, before he went fucking crazy, killed all those people, he was just a little baby. He was just my brother. It's kind of like the old man's presence and Jon Snow's presence at Castle Black were those were the things that were preventing Gilly from potentially being raped.
But for me, the star of this episode, in addition to Jorah, is actually Ghost, saving the day. What did you guys think about the Sam and Gilly sex scene? I thought it was okay. I felt like it went on for a little bit too long. Then again, Gilly is giving Sam a gift, and that's the name of the episode.
Another gift is Tyene giving Bronn the antidote to the poison. It's funny because I went back and rewatched the Sand Snakes fighting scene. I'm like, oh, so this is why people are complaining about it. Her taking her clothes off, I think that was an attempt to try and write in a little bit of Arianne Martell's character, who's a book character, into Tyene's character. Another gift in this episode is Tyrion, so let the advising begin! He finally meets Daenerys, which is really cool, because I actually thought I thought I was going to have to wait for the end of the season for that. Now, because Tyrion is Tyrion, there is no doubt in my mind that he will eventually talk Daenerys. He will talk his way up to becoming Daenerys' most trustworthy advisor, and he's also going to try and get Jorah off the hook by talking Daenerys into maybe possibly forgiving him or allowing him to stay near her and just bringing him back into her inner circle.
Hopefully Tyrion has a better plan than what Daario said in this episode, which is basically execute the masters publicly.
Finally, Jorah was beast in this episode. He just takes one look at Daenerys and he knows what's up. You know, he knows why she's upset, so he walks in there, beats everybody, KOs them without killing them, because that's why Daenerys is upset, because of all the bloodshed. And yeah, it's just so cool to see him do his thing, and it's also kind of sad in a way, because it's like the feelings are not reciprocal. In fact, she doesn't even want him near her. So it kind of sucks, but it was badass.
That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did. I really appreciate that. I also appreciate you subscribing if you haven't already. And comment. Thank you very much. Next week, I kind of get the feeling it's going to be a big one. Bye.